True Leo, always messing with my hair. I feel like this time of year is when everybody just stops acknowledging that summer is still upon us and, slowly creeping away, but it's still winding down. And we're in this transition period between late summer and autumn. And I don't know, there's something about taking it slower this year that sounds more appealing to me. Normally how I do things is just have like this full-on autumn and spooky season decorating day, and it's just like this full-blown operation. And I don't know, I feel like lately I've been loving the idea of sprinkling in autumn. I think I've just been enjoying taking my time with it instead of rushing to do it. I hate rushing. I really fucking hate rushing. And maybe it's because I'm a triple fixed sign, but I hate being rushed. And I feel like rushing really steals the moment from me when I can really just go along with nature and start the transition slowly. I feel like that's been a lot more fun for me. I know other people go, balls to the walls with Halloween immediately, and I did that last year and the year before that and the year before that. So there's nothing wrong with that, of course. I'm just expressing to you how my mindset on that has changed, because it's like literally September 1st and people were like, summer, get the fuck out of here, we don't want you. And I'm like, wait, no, because I feel like you cut summer almost like a whole month short, Also, it's still hot out. Like, it's kind of hard for me to get into the spooky season when it's hot out. Now, granted, the weather has been changing really beautifully. I have felt these like waves of coolness coming in, and that's what I love. I love that feeling, but it just hasn't fully arrived. I know a lot of people just live for autumn and Halloween, and I do as well. My point here is not that I don't love Halloween, it's that taking it slower has allowed me to savor that moment all that much more. Lately, I've just been liking the idea of sprinkling in some stuff. Like the other day, I bought some pumpkins at Sprouts that made me so happy to see in store. I was like, yes. I had to put one in my cart right away. I bought some autumn vegetables. I lit my little autumn candle. I put up some string lights we did have like a Summerween party. I didn't record it or anything, but I have some pictures that I'll put here. Everybody started coming so fast, so I didn't really even get any footage. I was so busy like cooking and whipping it up. But other than that, like, I haven't really done anything crazy. Now, I will probably do it soon, but the point is that I'm taking it slowly, really enjoying the process, because I think it'll be better for me like creatively to, take my time and decorate things slowly. So I don't necessarily think I'll have a decorating video this year, necessarily like a full-blown decorating video. I think probably you'll just see like bits and pieces of it as I go, but rest assured, you will see some stuff, just not like how I had done it in the past. If you're curious about my past decorating videos, I've done some really cute ones, so you should go check those out. I will leave a little card right here where you can go and click it and watch it. Yeah, I just feel like I've been there, done that kind of thing, so I kind of want to switch it up and do something that maybe serves my personality type a little bit more. I am saying goodbye to summer, and I am bringing in the autumn joy. And in this video, you'll see sort of like the bits and pieces of my garden that are left from summer. And I'd actually say midsummer is when I got some of this footage, because right now the garden is a little bit on the fried side. But that's okay, it's normal. That's normal for your garden to do that. I feel like this past summer was really delightful, and I actually did a lot more swimming and sunbathing that I have done in previous years, and oh my god, I'm so happy with the way my summer season went. Like, I hope that you guys had like a really amazing summer, because I sure did. I feel like in past years we always plan to do things and we only end up doing like one or two things, but this year I feel like we really spent a lot of time in the sun and the water, and I just had a great time. I had a great summer season, so as much as I'm sad to see it go, I'm also kind of like very content with how I spent my summer. And I think that also plays into like why it's important for me to take it slowly, so I can really like take it all in and absorb it, you know, absorb the season. I'm enjoying the last bits of my tropical fruits and things that are in season for the summer, because my produce list is about to change completely. I mean, we're about to welcome in a bunch of pumpkins and squash and different fruits that are ripening around this time. So I'm trying to get in as much of that those tropical fruits and those fresh herbs that are probably gonna die here sometime soon. And I'm honestly really sad to see my basil go. I have been eating basil like crazy all spring and all summer long, and I've been really happy with the amount of basil I've harvested, because sometimes I have a tendency to plant things and not even like harvest it or indulge in it, but this time I definitely did. Basil was very loved by me in the spring and summer, so I'll be sad to see that go in the coming months. Like I said, you can't get a Leo to not mess with their hair. I mean, it's not possible. I turned 28 in August 4th is my birthday, and thank you for everybody who gave me birthday wishes and said really nice things. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have shown me such little cute acts of kindness, and I really appreciate it. Anyways, I turned 28 in August. I don't really know why or how I came up with this idea, but I had the idea of doing a list of 28 things I learned by 28. And these are just things that resonate with me, or things that I've learned throughout the years, and things that I would advise people to do or to learn. Like, there's just like random things on this list. Given that I just turned 28, and if you saw my last vlog, I felt like I entered this really reflective era this past month, turning 28, and I just realized how much I've grown as a person, just how much I've learned throughout the years, and I kind of just wanted to pass down a little bit of that with you guys. I wouldn't say it's like anything crazy like in this list. Some of this stuff is very basic though, so it's not anything, I don't know, groundbreaking. I don't know, I just thought it was like an interesting video to make. I don't know why I was called to make this video in a way. Like, I don't know why the idea popped in my head, but I've seen people do videos like this like when I was younger on YouTube. I feel like this is kind of like an OG YouTube kind of video. I feel like 28, it seems like a big milestone because you're getting closer to 30, but also this is when your Saturn return normally starts. So I just feel like I need to set my stone down. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've been setting stones down all my life, and this is just the next one so that I can get to like start my new chapter, you know what I mean? I don't know if any of this stuff is gonna resonate with people or inspire people or what, but if it does, then that's great. That's awesome. I love that. But yeah, this is 28 things that I've learned by 28. These are things that I take with me into my next chapter, because these are things that I've realized have helped me navigate through life as an adult. A lot of this is geared towards women, of course, the girls and the gays, basically. I'm gonna try not to do like the more serious ones first, because I feel like we don't need to get that serious that fast, you know. Okay, number 1, because this is relevant to what I said earlier. Slow down. Learn to slow down. We as a society just need to slow down. Some of y'all's nervous systems are fucked up because you're constantly rushing through life, through events, especially like in American culture. We're so used to rushing through things. Life is already fleeting. I don't think that we need to rush even more. If you feel like you're constantly under pressure and you're always rushing and you feel like, you know, next thing, like you're constantly moving from one event to the next, to the next, to the next, you need to slow down, babe. Like, you need to slow down. I promise you, you may feel fine now, but that will catch up to you. That will catch up to you, and healing your nervous system takes a long time, okay? Constantly putting pressure on yourself like that is not good for you. You know, it's not good for your spirit, it's not good for your body. So I've learned to slow down. Okay, slow the fuck down. Number 2, have hobbies. As an adult, you should still have hobbies, because This is where you're going to find a lot of your friends probably. But also, this is how you're going to connect with your existing friends. For instance, when I started gardening a couple years ago, I didn't realize how much conversation that would spark amongst my friends who do garden and don't garden. You never know what kind of connection that can have, even the smallest stuff. Like for instance, Michael really likes Pokemon and he got me introduced to that, and now I love it and I understand sort of like the cultural aspects of it. And for us, it's just like a hobby, you know. My astrology connected me with some of my friends, and it's just nice to be able to have like meaningful conversations about it. And I feel like it brings people closer together when you have hobbies. If you don't have them, I feel like you can get lost in, you know, your phone, TV, social media, like whatever have you that is distracting you from actually doing something else that is fun to you. You don't have to gain anything from your hobbies. You just do them because it's fun and you enjoy doing them, and it's a nice pastime for you. Number 3, learn the art of resting and sleeping. If you as an adult are still like your mind is running when you're supposed to be relaxing, your body knows that. So like you may think you're relaxing, or you may think you're getting good sleep or good quality sleep, but if your mind is constantly running or thinking about all the things you should be doing, you're not resting at all. Like your body can feel it. So I recommend learning the art of relaxing and getting good quality sleep. So that means getting at least 8 hours of sleep, okay? 8 hours of sleep is really important for like cognitive function. So if you're not sleeping well, like please learn how to sleep well, because that is one of the only things that you can control that will boost your health a lot more, because that's kind of like a foundation of a health marker is how well of sleep you're getting. So make sure you're getting good sleep, and if you're not getting good sleep now, start to make those steps to get better sleep, because sleep is important for regenerative, you know, cell turnover. So if you're not getting good sleep, it doesn't matter how much you go to the gym, how healthy you eat, how much water you're drinking. If you're not getting good sleep, none of that matters. I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory, but I know a lot of people who don't get good sleep. I know a lot of people who are not getting enough hours of sleep, and you really need to consistently get a good amount of sleep, because it will start taking a toll on your body. I feel like sometimes we feel guilty about relaxing and kicking your feet back, but you really gotta let yourself do that, because resting is just as important to your body as, you know, exercise and things like that. So learn how to leisure and relax and sleep well, okay? Okay, number 4, you are a product of your environment. If everything around you looks like shit, feels like shit, that is a reflection of how you're feeling inside. Your environment matters. This is why people say you are who you hang out with, you are who you keep around in your circle. This goes the same with like a physical environment as well. And I understand a lot of the points I'm making they're very general points. There's always going to be situations in which what I say doesn't apply, of course. I've learned this from math and science. There's always an exception to the rule, always, okay? I'm not talking about extreme instances, of course, but if you don't like the way your environment looks like, what you're surrounded by, who you're surrounded by, if it's bringing you negative thoughts and negative energy, change it, beautify it, make it a reflection of what makes you happy, what inspires you, what motivates you, what brings out creativity in you. Like, don't just settle for the hand you've been dealt. If you can change it, if you have the ability to control your environment, change it. Sometimes we don't always have control of this, like if you live with your parents or you live in a dorm. I mean, it's hard to do like a complete makeover, but you know, do what you can with what you have. It's all about being resourceful. When you do that, you notice that your mental health is better, your mood is better, and it's overall uplifting when you have an environment that reflects who you are. Just know that your environment affects you in ways that you may not have noticed before. I mean, this is why, you know, people who grow up in loud households like me tend to be hypervigilant, right? We're a product of our environment. So now I live in a more peaceful house, and it's done so much healing for me. Number 5, nothing lasts forever. Not the good, not the bad. You will always have a moment of change. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing is forever. So if you're in a bad situation, just as much as in good situations, that's not gonna last forever. And if you're young and you're watching this, it may feel like your current is forever, because I felt that in my teenage years. I had very traumatic teenage years, and I genuinely could not see past my teenage years. Like I couldn't imagine being here as a 28-year-old. Like I never imagined what life would be like as a 28-year-old, because I couldn't see past the present. I felt so stuck, and it felt forever. It felt like I would never see the light at the end of the tunnel, like genuinely. But as I'm sitting here now, just know that nothing lasts forever, not even those shitty fucking traumatizing situations, okay? Not even those toxic relationships. I hope that one day something changes for you if you're in a bad situation. And it will. Something has to give, you know what I mean? Nothing can go on forever. Even the most evil, malicious events of your life all come to an end, or they catapult you into something else. Just know that one day you won't be in that situation anymore. And I know it's hard to see that, but if you have control over your life, you know, as you become an adult and into adulthood, most of us have control over our lives. So you can get out of that situation eventually, I hope. Again, nothing lasts forever, not the good, not the bad. And with the good, life is fleeting. All of our relationships with people all come to an end sometimes, and that could be with friends or family. This is why it's important to be present. Yeah, just know that nothing lasts forever. Everything changes at some point. Eventually, something always gives. You just have to have all the right variables to make that change. You know, all the trials and tribulations of life don't always last forever. If you're going through something bad, it's never gonna last forever. I mean, sometimes things last a long time, right? Like years, but for as long as you live, it won't last forever. Things always end up changing. And that brings me to my next point. So number 6, we have to allow ourselves to flow through the cycles of life and of nature. This is something that I realized this past winter. I felt really down because I felt like I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be, but it's because it's the winter time. I feel like wintertime is for resting and hibernating and really going inward instead of, you know, action. And this seems so obvious, but a lot of people don't practice this. But we need to allow ourselves to flow with the cycles of nature, just as nature does itself. You would never expect a tree to bloom flowers in the middle of winter. So why do we expect ourselves to perform and have the same output that we had, or the same amount of energy as we did during other seasonal cycles or bodily cycles? That brings me to another point, which is not only are there seasonal cycles that our bodies genuinely feel, but there's also cycles that women go through also. Like, we have different phases of the month, which allow us to feel more motivated or less motivated or more energetic than others. And I think we should just stop fighting against our natural state. I think that we should be doing the things to take care of ourselves during that time and not putting so much pressure on ourselves to deliver a certain, energy. Understanding that we have, hormone cycles and seasonal cycles is really important to sort of hack your adulthood if you don't want to feel like shit all the time and pressured all the time to meet a certain standard all the time. I think that you should just sit with your body, sit with nature, and sort of align with that cycle as women, because our hormonal cycle is different than men. They're at a constant. We, however, are not. So we can't expect ourselves to act the same every single day. So yeah, learn to flow with nature, and I feel like you'll thrive better in those moments because you'll realize that you should be doing XYZ instead of this other thing. When you plan accordingly like that, I feel like you can navigate those moments better and not feel shitty about it all the time. Because I feel like I did. I was feeling shitty in winter, and I'm like, girl, it's because like it's the dead opposite of my sun sign season. Like, girl, you're not going to be thriving in the winter. I love winter, but it doesn't hit the same as summer, obviously. I mean, I don't think it does for most people. I think we all feel like the weight of winter. The sooner you can get in tune with the cycles of nature, the better off you'll be with achieving your goals in life and what you're aspiring to do or be. I think it's really helpful to learn all of your internal cycles and the external cycles of life. Let's see, I'm gonna throw some quick ones at you because this is already taking too long. It's because I did 28, but I feel like I had to do 28, So number 7, healing is a continuous effort. I don't know why we're led to believe that healing is this like start and end kind of thing, when in reality, healing and shadow work is a continuous process. And I don't think we'll ever be fully healed ever in our life. I think that our triggers and our feelings sort of evolve over time. And sometimes you think you've digested something, but then a couple years later, it comes back in a different feeling, or things sort of add on to that trauma through your life experiences. So I think if you heal one part, you move on to something else and then something else. And as life happens, other things happen to you, and that kind of adds on to it. Or sometimes you go back to your past trauma and you sort of like assess it in a different way and view it in a different way you hadn't seen it before, and that brings something else out in you as well. Yeah, just know that you're never ever really fully healed, and that healing is a continuous effort. Like, I don't want people to feel bad because there's this trigger that they can't seem to get over, or they thought they did, but it still kind of bothers them. Your past experiences never leave you, okay? They never leave you. You just have to make peace with them and continue healing. The shadow work is never done, and that's okay. But I think once you realize that, it like helps your mindset a little better. Like, oh, okay, like this is just normal. Like this is normal to continue to kind of chip away at it or keep sort of mending it. So I have 2 points that I really want to make with my women, okay? Step closer. Especially if you're young. I feel like if you're older, these make sense to you. But if you're young and you're coming into adulthood, you may just not know. So number 8, if you are a woman, learn how to use a weapon. Learn how to point and shoot. Learn how to fire. Learn how to cock it and click it. I understand that these things might feel scary and dangerous, and I'm not saying that if you struggle with mental health or you feel like you can't handle it, that you should do it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think that if you are of sound mind, that you should be able to handle certain weapons. If you've never held one before, if you've never shot one before, if you've never even seen one in person in real life, I think that it's very valuable to know how to use those tools, because at the end of the day, it's a very dangerous world for women, and you don't even have to be an expert, because I'm not. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's not like I do it very often or anything like that. I just need y'all to understand that you should at least be familiar with it. You never know when you will need to know how to do that. If you have a will to live, you need to learn how to use weapons, and you need to buy one. We're in America, apparently we can all get some. So if you are of sound mind, I encourage you to get one as a woman. Depending on the state that you live, we also have carry on. I don't know, I just think it's an important life skill for women to have if you live in this country, that is the USA, to learn how to use weapons as a tool for safety. The other point for my ladies that I wanted to make is that, and this is more for my young ladies, because you may just not know, maybe this is common or obvious to some people, but do not, and I'm repeating, do not ever put your money in another man's bank account. I'm not speaking from experience necessarily. I'm speaking through other people's experiences that I've, read about or heard about. And I'm just horrified at the idea of you as a woman putting your hard-earned fucking money in a man's account because you guys have a relationship, or even if you're married, in his account and you have no access to it, like you're not a name on there. Guys, I'm so sorry, it may seem obvious, but like some people don't know, okay? Some people don't know. Don't fucking do that. Don't ever fucking do that. It's one thing if it's a joint account, but I highly recommend you putting your own fucking money in your account, in your own savings account. If you have a joint one, that's fine, but I highly recommend you as a woman always have your own account, even if you're married. I don't care how long you've been married for either. Don't pull all your money into one account. And sure, there are circumstances in which you're probably fine. You trust your partner, they've never done you wrong. But like for the most part, that's not something I would encourage for young women to do. I have seen people get fucked over their own money. They can't leave, they're trapped because all of their money is tied into one account or the man's account. Like, please, trust me. Don't put your money in this man's account. Ever. Period. I just felt the need to add that desperately to my list because I feel like that's one of the number one ways in which women get trapped in, and I've seen it happen. So I'm telling you right now, don't give that man your money. Like, even if you're married and let's say you don't work and you have access to the joint account, but I really think that you should open your own account and put money into that, like just in case you ever need that money and you need access to it yourself. You just never know. So number 10, self-confidence is not about how attractive you are or how pretty you feel or anything involving how you're perceived or the outside. Self-confidence is about keeping the promises you make to yourself, showing up for yourself in the ways that you said you would, and doing the things that you said you would builds confidence. Following through on the things you said you were gonna do builds confidence. Self-confidence has nothing to do with what you look like. It's all about being able to take initiative and follow through on the things that you set for yourself, the goals that you set for yourself. And this could be on a small or a large scale. I mean, it could be as small as like, oh, you're gonna wake up at 6 a.m. every day. If you always say you're gonna do that and you wanna do that, and you're constantly saying that, but you never do, that ultimately starts tearing you down. Statements like that need to have follow through, because if you're constantly wishing and saying you're gonna do things and you never do, why would anybody else have the confidence in you to do something when you can't even do those things for yourself? Just know that if you're struggling with self-confidence, try to really lock in on all those plans and goals that you say you're gonna do. And if you have a lot of them, start with the smaller things, start with the simple things that you say you're gonna do and follow through with them. You'll notice that over time your confidence will build in yourself because you're crushing it, And that's not to say that you have to complete every task that you ever say you're gonna do. It's just, I know from experience that if you're not following through with those things that you say you're gonna do or you want to do or you're wishful to do, it makes you feel bad. Like, it makes you feel shitty. So make sure to do them, at least majority of them. Make sure you're keeping your promises to yourself so that you don't, kind of fall in like a little rut of distrusting yourself. Number 11, the question is not why me, it's why not. Sometimes when you want to achieve things, it does require a bit of delusion and believing that why not me? Like, why not me? It's not, oh, why me? Why would I get chosen? Why would good things happen to me? It's like, why not? Why not? That's the question, okay? That's the question right there. Sometimes you need a little bit of delusion to really catapult you into your dreams, because in that time, your dreams haven't become reality. So it feels so outside of your life and unreachable, but you really just have to believe, like, why not me? Why can't good things happen to me too, I don't ever want to hear y'all say, but why me? Like, why not you? Number 12, I really believe that we should love as many things as possible. Fall in love with as many things as possible across the board. If you can find joy, happiness, and love in as many things as you can, I feel like it's kind of hard to have a bad time. If you can find the love in yourself to love other things as much as possible, to find as many things as you can to love. If you are filled with love at every turn, then you're golden. You're golden. Like, fuck all the bad shit. This is not to say you're gonna love your way out of a toxic environment. It's just to say that sometimes finding love in as many things as possible creates a really high vibrating spirit. You know what I mean? Number 13. Know the difference between spirituality and witchcraft. These are not one and the same, but can go hand in hand. I think of spirituality as being one with the universe, like one with nature and one with the world around you. The goal with spirituality is balance and harmony, whereas with witchcraft, essentially what you're doing is manipulating the energies around you, wielding it to your favor and to help you manifest whatever it is that your goal is. And what you really need to learn is all of your elements, all of your herbs, all of your tools to really understand witchcraft. It's not about how many spells you know or whatever, or how many spells you can memorize. It's about learning the individual tools and the herbs and the energies and the elements and the spirits around you. That essentially is witchcraft, which in turn creates an imbalance because you're drawing up energy instead of bringing balance to it, unlike spirituality, which sort of prioritizes maintaining balance. So number 14, this is kind of going off the last one. I feel, and this is like a personal belief, my purpose in life is not, as much as I want to understand this mystical realm and understand the world through this spiritual lens, ultimately, the goal is not to ascend over my physical body and this physical experience, this physical material vessel. The point is to live life through the human experience. Sometimes I feel that other people get caught up in elevating and ascending. And I'm like, I think that you've lost your way, because the point is to live this life through the human experience. That's why we're in these bodies. You know, we're bound to the physical world, and reality is in this realm, not the next realm. So I think that there's a balance in there somewhere. I don't think that there is another plane that we need to ascend to. That's just what I believe. I do feel I'm a very grounded person, and I do feel like the whole point is that we're understanding the realms around us, but not that we're trying to escape the physical world. Even though, you know, sometimes we might want to, and that's why people do drugs and other things that make them want to leave this reality. And I get it. It's just that's not grounded in reality, unfortunately. So reality exists in the real world. And this brings me to my next point about sort of a healthy lifestyle. If you care about your human experience, there is no way out of an active life. Like, if you care about experiencing your life through the human experience, through its most idealized state, if you will, we'll never be there. It'll never be perfect. Our bodies will never be in perfect conditions, but you can always strive for that and experience your life through that sense. If that is your goal and that is what you prioritize, which is what I do, there's no way out of a healthy lifestyle. There's no way out of exercising and taking care of yourself. That is something that I realized that I wanted to make a priority. So it's something that has stuck with me the past couple of years, and that's why I've made such a big effort to turn my life around in terms of my physical health. And it's done me wonders. I feel like I'm such a happier person, and I can do so much more than I used to. Before I got diagnosed with PCOS, I was tired all the time, and I was missing the magnitude of what I can experience in this body. I knew it. I set out to heal myself so that I can reach a level of sort of like an idealized state. Again, we'll never really reach perfect, and that brings me to 16, which is self-care is the highest form of devotion. If you can take care of yourself, you show up for yourself, you do the things you need to do, you eat healthy, you exercise, you do your skincare, you will feel so good and you will feel so powerful, because you are at this like optimal state of being. I feel like that energy is really powerful because it does make you feel like you can achieve anything, and you are always constantly ready for anything, to take on anything. You know, sometimes this is not always possible. I'm very much speaking from a place of privilege because I have the time to do those things, but it's about the intention. It's about doing as much as you can to take care of yourself, you know. I feel like social media makes self-care look so glamorous and soft and easy and subtle, but it's not. It's hard work. But the thing is that you will reap all of those rewards if you put in the effort for self-care. You are the only one reaping those rewards. Self-care is devotion. It takes hard work and time and grind and showing up for yourself and being consistent and kind of like all of those things. But again, you reap all of those rewards and you will feel so good. And I say self-care in the more basic terms, but whatever self-care means to you, whether that be like, I don't know, reading a book every so often, or things that stimulate you and rejuvenate you, is self-care. Things that fill your cup are self-care. It's so funny because I think people prioritize the wrong reasons for why you should work out and you know, self-care and exercising, eating healthy, all of that. And I had that mindset, which is, by the way, beauty. It's strictly just to look like thin and skinny and this and that, and just for like very superficial reasons, which it's not that it's an invalid reason. I just think there are better reasons to put on the top of your list as far as what motivates you to exercise and eat healthy. Because for me, I was using that reason, which was beauty. And earlier this year, I reached a moment where I just was like not happy where I was with, you know, my activity. I've been doing at home mat Pilates, and I just was like not feeling it. I was feeling so down, and I just felt like I didn't have enough of a reason to stay consistent that felt life-changing, until I landed on the fact that I have to live with this body for the rest of my life. It doesn't even matter how like thin or pretty my body looks. It's about like bone density. It's about like muscle mass. It's about being able to fight cancer when I'm older. It's about not breaking my hip when I'm 60 years old. It's about being able to take care of myself when I'm 70. It's about living a life free of chronic pain. It's about living a life where I can heal from most illnesses, and it's about not having one single health condition take me out, because I feel like that happens very often. And on top of that, healthcare is so expensive. So I think investing in my health now through like, you know, fancy healthy groceries and, you know, gym memberships and the time I take to do these activities, I'm investing in my future self. I'd rather invest that now and that money versus later in my healthcare bills, because God knows healthcare is stupid expensive and barely anybody can afford it. Sometimes it just takes a flip of the mindset to understand, oh, fitness and a healthy lifestyle isn't about the way I look. Because I think what was getting me down is that I wasn't physically seeing the results, but I was feeling it. Like I was feeling more energetic. I was feeling a little bit lighter in terms of being able to, I don't know, do stretches better, to be more flexible over time. But I just wasn't seeing a physical difference, and it was really getting me down. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not about how I look. It's about how I feel, and how when I'm an old little grandma that I'm not tripping over something and that fucking kills me, basically. It's so important for us women to build muscle and to build our bone density, because we are very fragile as we get older. It's not even about like the looks of it all. It's about having a life free of illnesses and chronic pain. And again, this doesn't apply to everybody, because I'm coming from a place of privilege. I don't have pre-existing conditions other than my hormonal imbalance, which is a challenge, but you know, other people literally cannot be active. If you are fully able, then I think that you should strive for those things. Not because it makes you look thin and pretty and you want rock hard abs. By the way, women, that's very hard for women to do. The reason you work out shouldn't be for that. It should be because you care about the future of your life and the future of your body. This body has carried you from the time you were born to the time you are right now. And she's been through a lot. Like, she deserves to be taken care of. She's gotten you through the best and worst times of your life. She deserves to be taken care of with love and respect. And we need to fuel our bodies and take care of our bodies and build our bodies up. And you can do all these things and bad shit still happens to you. But the point is preventative measures, not, after the fact. Okay, so number 17, it's okay to fully develop habits slowly. I noticed that for me, it takes time to establish a really good habit. I find that when I do it slowly, I'm able to maintain it longer. So for instance, with mat Pilates, when I first started doing it, I dreaded taking the time out of the day to do it. And I just realized over time that the more I just showed up, I didn't even have to get in a good workout. It was all about the initial step to get myself to set aside time to get on the mat, to just go through the motions and the movements, even if I'm not fully feeling it, because what I'm doing is like training my body and my mind to just show up. If you're establishing a new habit, the point is just to show up. Just show up, even if you don't do the thing the best, or if it's not your best experience, and just show up. And I promise you, eventually it'll start to feel like normal and you'll dread it less, and your mentality starts to change. And that's when you start establishing those habits. Number 18, beauty standards are a social construct, okay? They're not real. They're not real. I mean, beauty standards as we know them today are inherently racist and misogynistic. Just know if you don't fit into those standards, or you're feeling ugly, that like you comparing yourselves to the beauty standards is doing you a disservice, because they're not real. Like, they're not real. They were made up by like society, and you as a human being, your spirit was born into that body, and there's nothing wrong with how you look. I mean, think about all your ancestors and all the people it took to make your face. A lot of generations, a lot of women, a lot of men went into making your exact face. I just want to make that a point, especially if you're young or you're older and you're comparing yourself to like other people. It's like literally, it's not real. Find the beauty in yourself and make peace with that, because the people before you came together to make the face that you have right now. And I think that's kind of like that's an impactful thought, I think, for me personally. Like, I used to want to get a nose job because when I was younger, I felt like my nose was so big, and I think over the years my face kind of grew into it a little more, but I wanted to get like a little nose for so long. And then I realized that like the women before me would be so sad to see me change my face, and that made me sad. So, and number 19, kind of going off that, no one is you. No one will ever be you. You are literally one of one. So if you're feeling shitty about yourself and you're not feeling like you're pretty, or you're what this or that, like, no one is you, girl. No one could ever be you. There is no one in the world with your exact interests, your exact experiences, your lineage, your desires and your wishes, the things that you find beauty in, the way you move, the way you think. Like, there is no one on this earth who is you. Like, you are a soul, one of one, and no one could ever be you. No one could ever be you. Okay? I think that that's something to be prideful about. I think that people forget how unique we are as individuals. Like, you are your own person. You are one person, a one of one person. And yes, we connect with others through similar interests, and maybe there's a lot of overlap. But again, like, there is no one who is you with your background, your experience, your knowledge, everything. That's all you. So I find that that is a source of pride. Sometimes when I'm feeling like, not as confident or insecure, I'm like, well, there's no one like me though, so can't say you could ever be me. Okay, so number 20, giving yourself credit for the things that you have done in life is gonna cure your imposter syndrome. This is something that I've struggled with my whole life. And lately I've been encouraged by the people around me, especially Michael, to stop being so hard on myself and to give me credit where credit is due. There are things that I've accomplished in my life that I kind of brush under the rug, and I don't really like acknowledge in this sort of like very prideful way. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Well, anybody can do that. But it really shrinks you as a person. It really diminishes all of your accomplishments. And I feel like when you have a habit of doing that, which I did for a very, very long time, it creates like imposter syndrome, which even now I still kind of like struggle with it, but it's something that I've picked up on, that's something that I'm working through, and this is what I've realized has helped me. If you're struggling with this, think of it as if someone were to tell you all of your own accomplishments, but it's coming from someone else. Like, oh, I did this, this, and this. Like, if someone in my life repeated all those things to me and said, oh, I did this, this, and this, and they're all my accomplishments, I would support them so much, and I would boost them so much and be like, that's fucking awesome. Like, you fucking did that. But it's like, I don't have the same energy for myself. So if I were to feel that way for other people, why can't I feel that way for myself? So I find that acknowledging your successes and giving yourself credit and being your own cheerleader can sometimes help the imposter syndrome that sometimes some of us feel. This is number 21, and maybe this is controversial, but I really don't think so. I feel like I had some good points. It is learn how to cook. Learn how to cook. I believe that cooking is an essential life skill, and if you don't know how to cook as an adult, I expect more from you. It is something that we have done since the dawn of time. And I think with women specifically, they get caught up in being sort of like rebellious and saying like, I'm not gonna learn how to cook because they don't have to cook for a man. But like, let's take a moment to step back from that and realize that at the end of the day, you as a woman, as an adult woman, should be able to cook yourself a homemade meal, at least. It could be something simple. Like, I'm not saying you have to be a damn chef in the kitchen now or make anything complicated, but like, learn how to make yourself a couple of nice homemade meals, because I do genuinely believe that cooking is a life skill. And I personally don't find it cute when people are full-blown adults and they don't even know how to cook a fucking egg. Like, it's like, I don't know, it kind of gives me the ick, because like I said, cooking is a life skill. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do because you're an adult who should be taking care of yourself, and you should just know how to do those things. It's kind of like driving. Like, I don't love driving, but I do it anyways because I have to. Now with cooking, you guys know I love cooking. But if you don't love cooking, if you're not drawn to cooking, I would still learn it because it's a valuable thing to know how to do. And you know, some women weren't really brought up to learn how to cook. Like, their mothers didn't cook, or they weren't shown how to cook, or you know, maybe they're traumatized by food or have an aversion to food. So I understand that. It's just you really have to be intentional about learning how to cook at least something. Could be something very simple, but like, I would try to dive into that skill a little more, because you as an adult being like, I don't know how to cook, I can't cook anything, like, that's crazy to me. I'm sorry. That's fucking crazy. It's one thing if you eat out all the time, that's fine. I still think that you should know how to cook something. Is that controversial? I don't know. I just think it's so funny when people are like, I'm not gonna learn how to cook for, like, I don't want to have to cook for my man. And it's like, sure, but are you gonna learn how to cook for yourself? Like, hello? Don't you think that you deserve to have a home cooked meal by yourself? Like, when you cook for yourself, it's like you're filled with so much more gratitude because you understand the labor and skill it took to make the meal. There's resources out there for you to learn how to cook. Like, there is no reason why you should be an adult and not know how to cook something. Again, you ain't gotta enjoy it, but learn how to do something. Okay, number 22, and this is more about authenticity. You have nothing if you can't show up authentically. I find that a lot of people hide behind their fashionable clothes, their taste in music, their interests, but you can tell that it's not authentic. People hide behind those things, but really there's no substance to it, because they're sort of like copying other people, or they want to be perceived a certain way. But if you're showing up inauthentically, then you have nothing. You are just an empty vessel with like decorations. There's not really much to explain there, but just I highly value authenticity in my life. So the next two are more so about, you know, healthy relationships and partnerships, because I have been in one for a very long time. I have been with Michael for the past 11 years, and there's a lot that I've learned throughout my relationship with him, but we are in a very loving and healthy relationship. I would even say he's more healthy than I am, especially with this next point that I'm gonna make, which is the key to a good relationship really is communication and being sincere. And I feel like I sound like a broken record because everyone always says communication is the key, but it really, really is. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If you can communicate with each other through it, there's nothing you can't do. With communicating sincerely, you have to really love and like your partner enough to want to better yourself, to better the relationship. Because I myself learned a lot about communication throughout the years, because when we were younger, because we got together as teenagers, there were a lot of little toxic things that I did that were not okay and were later on brought up by him, that I worked through and bettered myself for. Because if you can't even admit your own faults, then you're never gonna go get anywhere. You're never gonna build a healthy communication. And the other point was number 24. True love is not loving every flaw. You don't have to necessarily love all of their flaws for it to be true love. You can recognize and accept and make peace with their flaws. It's loving them, accepting them for how they are and who they are as a person, and not being delusional in the sense that you want to change them and mold them into whatever fantasy you want. You love people in spite of their flaws, and you accept those flaws as a part of who they are as a person. Trying to fix people, especially in relationships, feels like a scam. Like, I don't think you can fix anybody unless they fix themselves. And I think that a lot of young women sometimes go into relationships thinking that they'll change, and they never do. I'm just telling you that right now. The healing and the growing and the shadow work and the improvements all come from within. You can only really inspire them and encourage them, but they have to do the work themselves. You can't fix anybody. Number 25. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to be annoying, bitchy, angry, irritated. You don't have to make yourself small for others. It's okay to make things more difficult if in the end it achieves what you set out to do. I think sometimes we shrink ourselves and make ourselves small, and we take up less space because some people, and I used to have this issue, but like people pleasing, I feel like you ignore your wants and your needs for other people, and you internalize a lot of feelings like anger or irritation or annoyance because you don't want to, irritate everybody else or whatever. But like, if there is something that you wanted your way and you set out to do it that way and it's not going that way, and you are being told by other people to kind of like just take it and go with it, if you have control over it, fuck no. You should go for it, and you should take the more difficult route to do what you set out to do. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to be annoying sometimes. It's okay to be like irritated or angry. Like, those are all valid feelings. And I feel like as women, we're always told to suppress our feelings and our anger, and fuck that shit, okay? Fuck that shit. Do what you want to do. Take up that space, because God knows men do it all the time. So this is number 26. I believe that gratitude is a supreme state of mind. I believe that the feeling of gratitude is the ideal state of being, because when you approach everything from gratitude, it's hard for life to seem like a dark place. When you approach life from gratitude, you feel less empty. I feel like with our current society, everybody always wants more and more and more, It's all about what I don't have and not about what I do have. And gratitude kind of eradicates that sort of like that lack of mindset. What am I lacking? What am I needing? What am I missing? And focusing on the things that you do have in life. We're so programmed to think in like a scarcity mindset, and I think that if you come from a place of gratitude, it's really like healing and uplifting. And I have always been a very grateful person, but this is a concept that I've really acknowledged within myself over the last couple of years. Like, I'm like, wow, like I really feel this intense, gratitude for life and the earth and the people around me and the creatures around me and nature, and valuing the things that I do have and the things that are going right in my life. And I feel like that's a really powerful sentiment. So gratitude is a supreme state of mind. Okay, and here are my last two. Number 27. No one is coming to save you. Only you are responsible for how your life pans out. Despite others' actions impacting your life, you are still in control. You're going to have to fight tooth and nail to claw your way up to where you want to be on your own. When I was a teenager, that was probably some of the darkest times of my life. Just like, I don't like negativity. I feel like that's a Leo thing. Like, I don't like negativity, and I feel it very deeply, and I do process it. But doing that in front of others feels very vulnerable. When I was a teenager, I used to cry a lot in the shower, and I remember like there was a moment in which I realized, and it sunk into me, that no one was gonna come save me. Like, no one was gonna come get me. No one was gonna come and change my life. There was little I could do at the time, given that I was a teenager, but what that did was that was sort of like a catalyst for me to start doing better in school so that I could apply to college and go to college and get my degree and get out there and start working. That kind of lit a fire under my ass that I needed. If you're waiting for someone to come save you, it's not going to happen. And I think that you should take responsibility for your own life. Even if traumatic things have happened to you, even if people in your life have done some dirty shit to you, have done you wrong, have traumatized you, have put you down, you cannot blame all of your failures on that person or that thing. You have to take responsibility for your own shit and pick yourself up and keep going and keep pushing and get yourself out and start anew. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You cannot let that event or that person hold that much power over you that it just numbs you and it freezes you and you feel like you can't do anything. You need to realize that no one is gonna come save you. You need to put in the work to get to where you want to be. I just remember having that moment, and it just hit me real hard, and I was like, fuck, I need to get my shit together, basically. And because I was doing really poorly in school, in high school, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get into college and progress my life in a positive way. I think you can always acknowledge the people who have done you wrong, the people who have traumatized you, but I think that you still have control over your life. And that brings me to my last point. This is number 28. At the end of your life, at the end of your reign, you're gonna have to make peace with all the decisions that you have made, or better yet, were made for you. This again is calling to the fact that you have control over your own life, and at the end of your life, you will have to be okay with all the decisions that you made throughout your life. All the decisions that were made for you, all the decisions you didn't make. If you're someone who lets your life be controlled by others, or you live your life based off other people's decisions or how it affects them, I think you are gravely mistaken, and I'm telling you this right now. You need to live your life. You need to make decisions for yourself. You can't let other people bulldoze over you and your wishes and your wants. If there's something you want to do but you're scared to do it, you have to do it. You have to do it. If you are someone who is more reserved in your decision making and you don't take risks, or you don't follow your intuition or your dreams or what feels like a delusion, you need to start doing that, because time is going to be up, you guys. Time is not infinite for us. Like I said, nothing is forever, neither is our lives. So you have to live it up to its fullest potential as much as you can. You don't always get to do what you want to do, of course, but you have to strive for living your life the way you want to, the way you intend, the way you envision it. The way you came to Earth is the way you're leaving Earth, by yourself. So you're gonna have to make peace with everything you did or didn't do throughout your life, all the decisions you made or didn't make. So I think that you should be stubborn about what you want in life. If you're in a relationship where you feel like you can't make those decisions, or you don't feel supported by your partner, I don't think you can remedy that. I don't think that you can have a thriving relationship if you are a woman who is very free-spirited and wants to get out there and live life, and you're in a relationship where you feel caged down. That's just not gonna work, because you're gonna look back one day and be very sad about the things that you didn't get to do. The time is now. The time is now to start paving your journey and your path to where you want to end up. And it's not about the destiny, it's about the journey. And that is something that I've realized lately, is that I love the present. There are things that I am striving for and want to do in the future, but lately I've been really enjoying the idea of the present, because again, this goes back to nothing is forever. Like, I look at myself in this house, Michael on the couch, Zombie and Lana on the floor, and I think about the life we have lived here in this house, and how one day we won't be here, and one day we won't be these 20-year-olds in this house, and one day we'll be old and, you know, maybe closer to our destiny, but I'll be nostalgic and reminiscing of the days that we had here. I think that's a bonus one. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And that is very cliche, but it's very true. In terms of like career and goals, I'm gonna think about like, wow, I had less responsibility then. I was able to do so much more because I had more free time. We're so young that we're a little more carefree and can enjoy life free of any major responsibilities. And, you know, that's a privilege, and I'm really trying to like savor these moments. All right. I feel like this video is going to be 1,000,000 years long. And I'm sorry for that. This was kind of cathartic for me, honestly. Maybe this is what I needed. Maybe these are the ideas that I want to cement before, like I said, going into my next era. But I feel really good. I feel really good about getting these ideas and these values out. But I'm sure that most of you guys would probably agree and do all of the things that I am saying, just because I already know how we be, you know? I feel like I attract very similar people to me in the best ways, but you never know, there could be something in there for anybody. These are just the things that I've learned throughout my 28 years of living, and things that I find valuable to get me through life and adulthood. Now that I've got that out, with that, I can finally say, you know, goodbye to summer and welcome in autumn with open arms. I feel like I really do feel like I released all of that, because like I said, my birthday's in the summer, so summer feels like a very important season for me. Spiritually, it feels good to kind of close the chapter on that, and I do think that I'm gonna start a new era of life. Now that I'm 28, we're heading into a brand new season, and pretty soon here a new year, and I don't know what my Saturn return has in store for me, but I'm scared, but I'm also embracing the change at the end, because I know ultimately, even though it kind of grinds us, at the end we end up being better people, or you grow from it, you learn from it, and you become more powerful. So if you're curious, my Saturn is in Aries in retrograde in my 12th house. I feel like that's a lot. I have no choice but to embrace it, you know? Sometimes the only way out of it is through it. If you have any thoughts about that placement, do tell. I have my own, of course, views and thoughts about that Saturn placement and what it could possibly mean and what it is in store for me. And of course, there are like conjunctions and aspects that influence it more too, but I don't really want to get into that. So I feel like that's all very personal. I feel like that's already a hard-hitting placement, so I don't want to get too much into that. But yeah, the next time you see me, I'll probably do something, you know, Halloween, spooky, October related. So I hope you join me in my next one. Bye. Guys, this is my first jack-o'-lantern purchase of the year. I found this big ass pumpkin at Sprouts and I just couldn't resist. So this is the start of my sprinkling of autumn. I also bought some squash to cook with. I got this honey nut butter squash, and then I forgot what this one is called. Then I got some apples, very like in season. And of course I found a little baby jack-o'-lantern, and I just set this up here. I put out my Nightmare Before Christmas vinyl here. I want something like vintagey to hold it up, but yeah, for now it's kind of just standing up right here. I also made some cornbread earlier today, and it has some thyme in it. I don't know if you can tell, but I love cornbread. It reminds me a lot of the autumn season, so I made some. I can't wait to cook it with these squashes though, because I have never cooked with them before, so I'm gonna look up some recipes and see what I can find. Guys, I also bought, excuse the mess, I mean, she is like jam. We also went to Tesco and we got a whole bunch of snacks the other day, so that's why it's kind of like extra full in here. But I've never tried these before. These look good. They have like lime in it. These are my favorite chips at Tesco. If you don't know, Tesco Life is like import store, so they have a lot of Asian goods like Japanese goods, Korean goods, and this is one of my favorites. I love chips, you guys. Like, I am a chip fanatic, so this is a new flavor we're gonna try as well. Anyways, this is not like fall coated. I came in here to show you, oh, this. I got this at Sprouts today as well, and I'm so excited to try it. It's literally just ginger tea. I don't know why I'm acting like this is revolutionary, but it just looks so good. I'm about to make some right now, actually. I have this honey here that I'm really excited to try as well. It's whipped honey with pumpkin spice, so that'll be cute. I'm not putting it in this. It's just, I was showing you. It sounds really good. Oh, that smells so good. I want to do a fall theme on my altar, and I kind of had that going with this really beautiful fuchsia pink candle, but I want to add more here. And I want to pull another oracle card since I'm transitioning, you know, into another season. And I don't know, we'll move my crystals around and just interact with my altar, you know. The ruler. So this is what, if it'll focus, if you can read what it came up as. in the Oracle book. But it's funny because it says this rose flowers midsummer to early autumn, which is the season we're literally in right now. This rose is associated with the astrological sign Leo. Meanings and uses: strength, leadership, empathy, decisions, and power. So very interesting pool. During the autumn season, I like to use my Halloween tarot deck. So my friend gave me these 2 mini tarot deck cards, and these are the ones I use throughout the year, but specifically during fall and autumn, I like to use my Halloween tarot deck, which is this one. This is my very first and only like full-size tarot deck. My first one I ever bought, and it's kind of like the only one I have besides, like I said, the little mini ones. But I love the illustration on this a lot, so I like to keep her out for when I do readings. And of course, I can't forget this little guy. I changed out my crystals to more fall themed crystals. Pulled out my new cards. New candles lighting. Yeah, that's what I thought. Ooh, this is a good bag. Yo, this is a good bag. This got roll-ups, fruit of the foot, and gushers. That's a good bag. Yeah, good mix. Ooh. Wait, this is actually so cool. OMG. Guys, we're at Cracker Barrel. Oh my gosh, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? Oh my goodness. Wait, they ate down.
Oh, this is like...
What is it? Oh, you can like hang it on the wall. Wow. They really went all out, I feel like. Wait, there's more? Michael, look. Oh. Wait. I kind of want it. Look at this. What else we got? Oh my goodness. What is this? Dude, that's scary. I love the Christmas tree. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is like marble. It's like a blow mold. Okay, that's cute. Ew, people. Oh, look. They're coasters. Little like... OMG, babe. I haven't seen the purple one yet. This is cute. Oh my gosh. The bring.
Good tonight.
We're spider hunting.
Maybe 2, 3, 4.
I'm actually so scared to get in here. Ah! Wait, there's one right here! Oh my god! Okay. Here's one.
Oh, actually there's 6.
There's one here. Dude.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh my, there's like...
A million. There's some up there too. Let's see. There's one right here. Right here. It's so grainy in this. It's so funny. Right here.
Babe, I see like 2 more back there.
Where's the other one? Oh, right there. You can see it crawling. Oh my gosh, all the way back there. You see it? Everything is so layered here. From here to here to here.
3, 4, 5.
Whoa.
8.
There's hella. That's all you need to know. Really cool. We were just on our way to get Domino's. That's all. That's all. Yeah, that's crazy. We've been seeing him all summer long. And it's crazy that they build them like overnight and then just kind of like destroy them. Or not destroy them, just abandon them, I guess.